Hi, everybody. It is October 24th, and I know I've said it before, I just really stop watching the news, television, even stay off of Facebook this time of year. All of the hatred and venom and meanness that just pours out, I'm just like, oh, goodness me. And then I read, I'm in First Peter and First Peter 3:17 and 18 gives you food for thought. Like it says, for it is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. For Christ also suffered once for sins, for the righteous and the unrighteous, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but made alive in the spirit. So suffer for doing good. We just don't even have a concept of that anymore. You know, Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., they understood these concepts and they wanted to fight through peace rather than violence. Like, I still think back to the rioting and I just can't stand it. I have nothing against protesting. I absolutely, but to destroy things from other people that had nothing to do with what you're talking about. And it just, and then you wonder why you don't have any grocery stores in your area. And it's like consequences. But no, instead of suffering like Christ, they take it into their own hands. And it just doesn't bode well. Um, and I understand there's pain and suffering and all that, but do it for good and don't display evil. What would Martin Luther King Jr. say now? What would Jesus say now? What would Gandhi say now? Their approaches were so different. And I mean, it got them both killed, got all three of them killed. But what an impact it still has. So, just a little food for thought. I feel like God is trying to buffer the pain going on in the world with this verse for me today. And I am so glad for that. So, I don't know where you are. If you're hurting, if you're not hurting, God is there. And all you have to do is look for him.